how did you come to select Maya as a pick out topic for a single session? I mean, what's the idea of
I don't know, we'll see, I think. Om Ganana Antva Ganapati Gum Havamahi Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspat Anashranvan Mutibhisida Sadhanam Om Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the topic is Maya. Have you heard about what Maya means in the Indian context? What have you heard?
Maya is the illusion of the mind.
Maya is an illusion of the mind. Okay.
It's basically the whole life.
Basically the whole life. Basically the whole life is Maya. Please come. What do you think Maya means? You know the topic of today, no? You don't know the topic? What topic we have today?
I also know about philosophy, but I'm not sure what it is.
Okay. That is also a Maya, you know, people here, they... Namaste. So Maya. So Maya is just about everything you said, right? The whole world is Maya? And is the Maya mind also? Mind is Maya, world is Maya. Did you ever hear anything about Maya? No?
What the senses perceive.
What the senses perceive
Mind generates.
and what the mind generates. What the senses perceive and what the mind generates. There you go. I'm just, you know, it's good for me to know what you already know. I may not know anything about Maya. I'm just talking. You have some ideas about Maya?
What Leo said is right. And it goes in opposition to the self, which is the real truth.
Maya is something in opposition to the self, which is real. That means Maya is not real. Huh?
No. Well, I mean, I guess there are some philosophies who says that it's just an illusion, it's not real, the world is not real. And some other movements that say it's real, it's just a different dimension, different level of reality.
Uh-huh. So some people, they say Maya is an illusion, and the other people say it's just different levels of reality. Yeah, so that's very nicely said. Yeah. Good. Do you know the word Maya?
I have to admit I don't.
Okay. No, that's good. That's not a... I'm welcoming you, okay? Don't think that I'm asking all these questions and, you know, my God, we came for the first time and look at him, he just wants to... So what do you think? Do you have anything in your language which is like equivalent to Maya? You know Maya, you must have some general idea what is Maya. Where are you guys from, by the way?
Singapore.
Okay, so she's the one who told you, okay, well, and you, how did you come to know about me?
We posted something on the Ashtanga and so
Oh, okay.
Facebook page, and I thought it was quite interesting, and I just thought I'll just come.
Huh? So you live in Singapore, or you were born in Singapore? You were raised in Singapore? You too?
Oh no, I'm from Malaysia.
You're from Malaysia, and you said Malaysia.
Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay. I know her. I forgot, where are you from?
Turkey.
What is happening today? Turkey.
Same region.
So we have, can you believe, in a small place? So we have people from Palestine, from Turkey, from Cyprus, neighbors. Of course, Europeans, we cannot be surprised because I have a few all the time. And then Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. Well, Maya is there. In Thailand, they use the word Maya, no? Because a lot of Indian, what do they mean by Maya in Thailand?
In Thai, we call Maya to make the truth from not true. Or from the not true to the truth.
Non-truth to the truth. Maya is...
That change the mind. But something is not true.
Maya means something which is not true.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know the other things.
See, I'm asking all of you because I don't know. He is asking me, how did you decide to talk about Maya for 1 hour? Because, you know, you can say a few sentences and that is easy, but to talk about Maya for 1 hour, I only do it because I've done it before. Okay, so I'm hoping that I will be able to do it again. So Maya. See, they call it an illusion, right? As if to say it is something which is not real. What is real and what is not real? See, suppose I say real. Suppose you go to the shop of a vegetable, right? He is nearby, there is a shop, he is selling vegetables. So there is pumpkin, there is zucchini, potato, eggplant. Is that all that is real or not real? You ask him. To him it is very real because he is making money, selling you same thing for twice the price and you know, making it really big. And he knows that he has a monopoly because there is no other shop in the area, so he can charge you whatever, and you know, quickly wait. Before you know, he will know how much it is and you won't even know. You just put it there. The whole thing is real to him. It's real to you too, that the pumpkin that you ate or the watermelon that you ate, was it real or was it a Maya pumpkin? So you ate some food this morning. Was it an illusion food or was it a real food? Are you real or are you, because your body is made up of all that illusory food, so then what are you? You must be an illusion too then, right? So are we illusions sitting here discussing reality? Are all of us illusions sitting here discussing reality? What is real? See, is this real or not? This stands for the whole universe, if you can understand, because the world is full of names and forms, right? This poor guy has a name too, called the pot, right? And it has a shape. That's true to almost the entire world. You can extrapolate. There's a sun. Sun is a name, sun is a certain form. When I say sun, you don't mistake it for moon. When I say moon, you don't think of the sun, right? So there are two different forms in my head also. This is sun, this is moon. Now, is it real or unreal? That's the question, yeah? Is it real? I just gave you coffee in it, okay? So don't tell me it is unreal. Because suppose I didn't find something, how can I? I cannot give you coffee in a clay. I can give you coffee in a pot, right? In clay, I can't give you coffee. See, in this one respect, the pot is bigger than the clay. It can hold water. Clay cannot hold any water. Clay doesn't hold water. The pot is the one that does, right? So it has a reality. It has a reality. You know what is, can you say it doesn't exist? Can you say it doesn't exist? Can you say the pot doesn't exist?
No.
Then it exists, right? That means it's real, right? It exists. It's unlike anything else. There are lids and there are jars, there are cups. This guy is different from all of them. And it is real. And you cannot say it doesn't exist. You know what doesn't exist? Can you give me an example of something which is non-existent? Something that doesn't exist.
Yeti. You know,
Yeah.
Yeti there.
Yeah, Yeti, the big, what is it called? The big,
Mystical.
yeah, the big bear. Yeah, big bear, something that is. But some people say that it exists. According to some people, it does. What is a Yeti, by the way?
A monster.
A monster. So, and there is this another monster in Scotland. What is it? The no. I went there and I was looking at that lake. I could not find him. That means it. But there is a very good song about it. Something like a Rod Stewart song. It sounded like that. It's about that monster. So that monster is an example of non-existent, right? Or let us say, what about devil? Has anybody seen the devil? You know about the devil as they talk about it? So what is does the devil exist? Some people think that Maya is like devil. But see, maybe the devil doesn't exist, right? But a man who behaves like one, we know many. Horns exist also. Horns exist. A man exists. Horns on the head of a man don't exist. But we can put the two together. We are good. We can imagine a lot of things. So we can imagine a man with horns on his head. Similarly, I give you another, see this. I have many examples of non-existent things. You said Yeti. What about any other example? Do you know something else about the non-existence? Non-existence is a big concept in Buddhism also, Shunyaha. Shunyaha means non-existence. Can you give another example of non-existent? It's very hard, see the thing is, thousands of, suppose I ask you examples of things that exist. Will you have a problem? So you can say chair, table, curtains, Mysore exists, Bangalore exists, your countries exist, your mom, your dad, so many people, they all exist, right? Non-existent, we are having a problem. Why there is such a big problem? I give you some examples. You have to, but first I would like to know, you have any examples of non-existent?
Faith.
Huh?
Faith.
Faith? Yeah, so this is good because suppose faith, but it as a faith is not a physical object, right? But as an idea, it is there existing in the minds of the people. A lot of people have faith in many, many things, right?
I mean, faith like
Fake.
no faith like another idea of karma. So it's faith when I.
Oh, fate.
F-A-T-E.
F-A-T-E.
Yes.
Oh, I do astrology for living. That's my second profession. And you are telling me that there is no fate.
No. I'm just saying that this is something that does not exist. It's not matter. It may exist as an idea, said, but it's.
Just kidding. I'm just playing with you.
No, but for some people it doesn't exist. They don't believe.
Very good. Yeah, they don't believe in it. So the thing is, fate as a concept exists, and the believers in fate, they also exist. The non-believers in that fate also exist. I have some very simple examples. See, you may appreciate this one. The hair of an egg. Hair of an egg. Have you seen? Like on our head, we have hair. Have you ever seen hair on an egg? No. Okay, another one. Horns of a rabbit. You will notice, with very little intelligence, it can be noticed that anytime I give you an example of a non-existent thing, it's always a combination of two existent things. Like hair are there, eggs are there, but hair on top of the eggs of a hair of an egg don't exist. So similarly, rabbits are there in the world, real rabbits. And the horns also are there, real horns. But on top of a rabbit, so it's always an unholy combination, okay? So we say, there is no real shunyaha. There is no zero, there is no non-existence. Whenever you talk about non-existence, you have to say where. Like horns are non-existent, but where? On top of the head. So you have to specify the locus. There alone they don't exist, but out there in the world, there are horns. And when? When is another. So on my hand is this pot, right? Then suppose say pot is non-existent. So you have to say where and when, because there is a pot somewhere else at some other time. So a non-existence has always to be qualified by time and place. There is no absolute shunyata. There is no absolute zero. What is absolute? Is. Is X. So pot is, curtain is, city is, you is, I is. All that is here is. In the Upanishad, asti ityevopalabhyate. You can only, the world is recognized by anyone as is. Asti, asti, asti. Exists, exists, exists. Non-existence, you don't say sun is not, moon is not, river is not, mountain is not. Nobody talks like that except a few Buddhists, right? What can we do? It's like rabbit's horn. Then they argue about philosophy. So I ask, do you exist? No. That means I also don't exist. So then two non-existent people are talking about what? Then what about the world? World is an illusion. See, illusion we know, illusion. And that was a very good, like in Greece, in Cyprus, if they mean this by Maya, I'm very happy. Because suppose you say Maya, and Maya, let us say, means an illusion. Then have you ever been to a magic show? Have you ever been to a magic show? I went to one. And this magician, his name was Ananda, Jadugar Anand. He was very famous man. So I thought I should see this show. In fact, after watching the show, you want to become a magician because you say, wow, if I could do this, this would be wonderful. Like after watching somebody play some guitar, immediately you want to play the guitar yourself. Or, if somebody is singing very well, then say, okay, I will also try. I want to be like her and I want to be like him. This is our dreams are like that. Immediately they get created. You see something good, you want to be that. So I wanted to be this magician for a long time because I thought, my God. So he had a hat and he showed it to everybody. And then you know what? There was nothing in that hat. We could all see. In fact, he put his hand in it and it went through it and there was nothing. And then suddenly, from the same hat were coming the rabbits. And a rabbit came and it went like this on this stage. I'm not kidding you. I saw this with my own eyes. And there was a rabbit going on this stage. And as you were looking at that rabbit, another came. And there were rabbits, going up and down on the stage. This is really... And I said, my God. And there was no rabbit. This is Maya. Okay? This is Maya. But you think there are no rabbits in the forest? Are they like the rabbits on the stage? The rabbits on the stage is an illusion. But not the rabbits outside in the forest. They are not illusory. They are real rabbits, eating carrots and grass and all of that, and lovely to look at. They are not an illusion. So to dismiss the whole world as non-existent, this pot is not non-existent, like horns of a rabbit. And it is also not false. Like in the dream, you remember any of your dreams, especially a nightmare? Anybody remembers a nightmare? How did it end? You woke up, right? How do I know? It's good to wake up from a nightmare. So when you woke up, what did you think of the nightmare? You knew it was false, right? Yeah. Not during the nightmare. During the nightmare, it is real. See, swakale satyavat bhati. We say about the dream that in its own time it is real. Suppose in the dream, oh, it's not real. Then there is no dream, The dream is dream real. It only gets falsified upon waking, not until then. So suppose you are a very rich man and you are walking on the streets of Mysore and you wanted to buy some samosas in the dream, okay? And then you bought the samosas and you were eating, and how the Indian businessmen, they talk to you and say, okay, would you like some chai also to go along with your samosa? I said, yeah, chai also. I love chai with samosa. And then you're having chai and samosa, and then you put your hand in the pocket because you're a rich man. But you forgot this is a dream, this is not waking. And there was nothing. Then you have to wash the dishes, in that restaurant for some time. Because your waking money is no good in the dream. And your dream money, suppose in the dream you win a $2 million jackpot. It has no value during the day. Right? Correct? So in the dream time, the dream objects are real. Suppose in the dream, I'm in a jail and the cops are beating me. Then it is real until I wake up. And then I say, oh, it was just false. In fact, it's a great relief to know that it was all false, right? Otherwise, suppose they wake up and they continue to beat you in the waking. Then that would be a disaster. Thank God the nightmares come to an end. So that is false. Is this false? Is it a false part? No. Is it a non-existent part? Like a horns of a rabbit? Or is it a dream part? No. Then what is it? Illusion? No, illusion is if it's created by a magician on the stage, it can be an illusory. You can call it an illusion. But this is a real pot, performing a valid function of keeping coffee. So it has a name which doesn't belong to any other shape. A lid cannot be mistaken for a pot, and pot will not be mistaken for a lid. So it has a name and a particular form, and it has a function to perform. Name, form, and function. Nama, Rupa, Kriya. Name, form, and function. And that is how the whole world is. In this entire world, there are things with many, many names. And name is always for a form. Suppose I say cow. Cow is a word. What is the meaning of the word cow? So we say the word is called Shabda. And the meaning is called Artha. So what is the Artha, the meaning of a word Shabda? See, I say cow. Watch what happens in your head. Cow. Horse. Dog. Now you know what is the meaning? So you can say Shabda Artha, or if you want to change the terminology, you can say Namarupa. Because what is the meaning of any name? The form that rises in your head. So I say cow, then when I change the name, Nama, horse, then the Rupa changed, right? You no longer have a cow in your head. What do you have in your head? A new form called horse. So Rupa is to name, form is to a name. What is the meaning to a word? A meaning of a word is whatever happens in your head. Yeah? So the whole world is Namarupa. Name and form, sun, moon, river, everything is a name. And everything is a different form, including the space. Suppose I say east. East is a form. Different from west, different from north, different from south. Yeah? It's a form. Cross is a form. It used to be square in Switzerland. Then now it is longer. It's a form. You cannot say Hindus worship forms. Let's say destroy the form. That is also form. A direction also is a form. See, the form is here. And honestly, formless has no capacity to create any problems. Formless, what can it do? Nothing. Forms are the disaster. Forms, we don't understand forms. If we understood forms, then there will be no problem. So it is, okay, to go back to this. So this is not false. So see, when I say this is not false, you need to extrapolate. The world is not false, okay? This is not an illusion. What should be understood? The world is not an illusion. This is not non-existent. You cannot say the world doesn't exist. Mind you, then you won't exist either, right? We would love to exist, right? No? Preferably in this body, and if this body goes away, hopefully I'll exist in another one. Yeah, I don't want to. Do any of you feel like, I want my existence to completely come to an end? Not that you have a choice, I'm just saying. I don't want to be. I want to not be. To be or not to be. That's not even a question, because you are the being, you are the only existence. That's what we have been saying all along. Anyway, so this is not false. This is not non-existent. Yeah? Therefore, it is what? Real pot, right? Real. So it is real. You agree with me? Don't just agree. I mean, I'm asking. It's very simple. Can you say it is non-existent? After all this, is it horse of a rabbit? No. Is it a dream pot? False? No. Is it a magic created by a magician? No. Then it is a real pot with a real function, with a real name and form. So you said it is real. Correct? It is, and it is a reality. I hope you're not thinking about you and me. This is pot. Yeah, we're not pots. We look like pots, but we are not.
Being real depends on you being real.
Yeah. So let us see.
I think the pot being real also depends on us because we are here and we're looking at a pot, so it's real for us. But it's not real for the neighbors next door who don't know about the pot and you do it.
Yeah, but see, suppose you say, do you say, okay, do the pots exist in this world? Then you say, which pot? The one that they drink or the one that you know? So they know pot. They know the other pot also, like pot, having pot in the morning and so on, that pot. So they know what pot is. They may not be looking at it, but they know that in the world there is a pot that exists. May not be around them. They have seen one before. If they are not seeing it now, they have seen one before, and they know such a thing exists there.
But there could be people who have not seen a pot before, for instance, and they will not know that the pot exists.
Yeah, that's right. For they don't know what a pot is. Yeah, there is that thing is true. So, suppose I say, do you know Gagabuga? Gagabuga? You don't know Gagabuga? Oh. You also don't know Gagabuga? Yeah, so there could be a Gagabuga in the world and you don't know that. But it exists as something you do not know. Like, I give you an example. What is this fruit that looks like a jackfruit, but they don't allow you to take it in the flights? Durian. You know durian? Unfortunately, everybody knows it. You know durian. You don't know durian. Do you know durian? Do you know durian? You? Okay. Couple of people don't know durian. Right? So for them it doesn't exist, right? But for you, you are sitting here, you're not looking at a durian right now. But you know there is a durian out there, right? Is it a real durian or is it a non-real? It's very real, right? In fact, once you know how real it is, The thing tastes really great, but it smells so heavy. It looks like a jackfruit.
Oh, that smells really bad.
See, now you know that. So this is another way of knowing. Suppose in Africa they have these things called wildebeest. Wildebeest. So they go to Kenya and Masai Mara to see this wildebeest. And suppose you know what a wildebeest is. So suppose you don't know what a wildebeest is, you don't know. So I say to you like this, that it is a deer. It's an antelope, deer. It looks like a big cow, right? Now suppose you go and you look at it. You will know because of my great teaching, you will know what is a wildebeest is. You will recognize it. You didn't see it, but I gave you an example which helped you recognize it. This is one way of knowing. Examples can lead you to the truth. Example may not be the truth, but an example can help you recognize the real thing. And in terms about the Atman, that's all we have to do, because there is nothing like Atman. So we can't really give an example of something similar. So we have to pull out something from our limited world of objects to give the example of this all-pervading reality. So this pot is real, right? Now, who am I? I'm the guru right now, right? I'm the guru. You guys are just shishas, you don't know anything. I know everything. And so what is the job of a guru? He needs to be a little different from the students. Should look a little different. First of all, should have a little headgear. I don't have all those things, so I'm not a great guru, but I wish I, and then you should have a very good beard, and you should never wear a t-shirt. That's not a very good way of being. You should have a loose gown or something. The guru needs all that, a loose gown, a big beard. Otherwise, what guru? And then, if I say the same thing, you say, what's the point? I should be different a little bit, something. So I say, you say this is pot, and I change the terminology. I say this is clay. Now, who is right? Who is right now? How dare you say that? I'm the guru, you know. I told you I'm the guru. Guru can be wrong, you think? Guru can be wrong. You have no shraddha, you have no faith. You have no faith in your guru. I'm saying that this is clay. You're still maintaining it is pot is an illusion, okay? Pot doesn't exist. Pot is false. Pot is just an idea in your head. Pot is not real. Clay is real. Then what you gonna do? You just I dismissed you now. You know, remember I said pot is any. So I can't dismiss you. You are indismissible. But so clay is real. Clay is real. Pot is real or clay is real? He said both. What do you think? You also think both? You also don't care for the guru. See, I just want to tell you this. I know this very well. Suppose I had a beard right now and a big headgear and I look like some kind of a big guru, then you wouldn't say all that. You said, no, I think you are right. And with great emotion, bhakti and faith and shraddha, all that, we just follow things these big people say on TV and other places. That doesn't help him, doesn't help us. It doesn't help him because he is going to hell if he continues that way. And we don't get liberated in the process either because we just follow boulders, you know, whatever they dish out, we just say, okay, without thinking about it, we just keep on believing. And the reality is something that needs to be known, not to be believed in. If it is real, and we say it is everywhere, that means it is all around you, not only all around you, it is you. That is what is meant by everywhere. If it is everywhere, how can it not be in you? God is everywhere, omnipresent. Have you heard that? So if it is omnipresent, it has to be here also. Right? Omni means that. Omni, Greek. It's a prefix, means all. Om means the same thing. Om. Om and Omni, the meaning is the same. So now that I have said that the clay is more real, I have to prove it to you, right? So tell me something. Before this pot became a pot, what was it?
Clay.
Clay, yeah. It's a clay pot. We don't say it. There are in this world, there are silver pots too, and there are golden pots, and there are brass pots, and there are cups, you know, made up of china and all that. Oh, it's the same pot and clay. Keep it simple. We are not trying to complicate this. So then what was this guy? It was clay. Suppose it breaks. I don't want to break because I have to go buy another one then. So suppose we are not at all interested in breaking the pot, okay? But suppose it breaks. What will it be? Clay. So it was clay. It will be what it is now. Even now it is clay. Now what is real? Clay is real or pot is real? Both are real, right? Better say that, okay? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. What you understand is what you should say. So there is a difference between, both are real, but there is a difference between the two. The clay is real in all the three periods of time, past, present, and future. Whereas our Mr. Pot is real only now, in this lifetime, now, in the present. In the past it wasn't, in the future it won't be, but now it is real. is it really, 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 really real? That honor belongs to clay. But it is temporarily real. There's no permanence in this, yeah? We're not talking about the Buddhist idea of impermanence. But it is there the whole time. It is not, it is, honestly speaking, we are talking about the pot. But if you talk about yourself, you are neither temporary nor are you permanent in the sense of that word, right? You are the knower of what is temporary and what is permanent. Both are known to you, the awareness. You're aware of what is temporary, what is time-bound, and you know what is permanent. You know the second, you know the hour, you know the day, you know the year, you know the lifetime. How long is the lifetime? Time is something you are aware of, but the time is not aware of you. So you are neither temporary nor you're permanent. Understand this impermanence thing. You are the knower of impermanence and the permanence. Without, this wall doesn't know what is permanent. This wall doesn't know what is temporary. You are the one who knows both. So that consciousness you are. In fact, what is known to you is known to you because of this awareness. And you are also aware of what you do not know. So you are not the ignorance, you are the awareness that recognizes the ignorance. I don't know this. I know this. Both are known to you. What is known to you? That it did not exist in the past and that it won't exist in the future is also known to you. And the pot is here right now, but it is not really the existence of the pot is the existence of the clay. In the form of the clay, the form of the pot, the clay continues to exist. Earlier it was a lump, but the clay was existing. Now it is a pot. Clay is still existing. Suppose it breaks into pieces. Pieces of the clay will continue to exist, and then it becomes the powder. The clay will continue to exist as the powder. And then later on, as the atoms and molecules and the idea that something is there will not vanish from your head even when you don't see a pot. Suppose you look at this guy with an X-ray machine, you won't see finally anything. Suppose a huge, but that there is something there. Like, you look at me, right, with a big X-ray, powerful X-ray machine, some gamma rays or something, then you will see bones and all that for some time afterwards. Even the road you won't see. But you will never be able to dismiss me because you saw me. I exist, okay? I don't know what about pot and all, but I do. It's like pot disappears, but the clay can see nobody can stop this clay from existing, right? She was existing in the past, she exists now, she will exist in the future. That existence, what you are. Everything else is the same existence. But because of its temporary nature, we call it Maya. Understand Maya? Maya is nothing but Brahma. Existence continuing in some Namarupa. The water existing in some wave, in some surf, in some breaker, a small wave, a big wave. Is that? So you call it Maya. You call it Maya, but it is nothing but Brahma. So we don't say this whole universe is Maya. That is never said in the Upanishads. What is said? Sarvam Brahma. Sarvam, all the waves are water. Water exists as a wave. Water exists as a wave. Does this wave have a lasting reality? No, sir. Temporary. But the existence that is the wave, for that there is no loss ever. So water continues as one wave or any other wave. In fact, the whole ocean is the whole world is Brahman. The whole ocean is water. I never said the whole ocean is Maya. I never said that. And they keep on calling the philosophers who try to explain the Upanishad, they say, Shankara is a philosopher. He's not a philosopher. He's just saying what the Upanishad is saying. He's a commentator. And they dismiss him as Mayavadi. Mayaism. He doesn't have any ismism. He's just trying to show you the nature of the pot. So we cannot say real, and therefore we call it mithya. So what is the reality of Maya? Mithya. Mithya, because it is not Satyam. Satyam, we will have to keep it for clay. So we will have to call out the world as Maya or Mithya. But it doesn't mean that the world doesn't exist. That's what we understood, no? Just because you call it Maya doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It doesn't become the rabbit's form. And it doesn't become a dream world, because there is a dream world. Within this world, there is a dream world which is different from the waking world. So, within the creation, there can be a few illusory phenomena. But that doesn't mean the entire world is an illusion. Like if you go there, finally you'll find there is no blue ceiling to our universe. You will go through it, you will keep looking, it will never be found. But when we look from here, then we see a blue. There is a blue sky, like a dome. Truly speaking, there is none. Why? Because it's just a light, refraction of light, a play of light. And you go there, it is not found. Similarly, the horizon. So you say, oh, today I think I would like to drive all the way up to the horizon. And you go there. In fact, east and west is like that. If you keep going all the way to the east, you will reach the west. Right? You keep going east, you will be at the west. And suppose you're on another planet like Jupiter. What is your east, north? It doesn't matter. What is east, west from there? East and west, all these things have a meaning when you are on the earth. And earth is spinning like that. What is east and west for the... So that's the whole horizon is an illusion. In a desert, when you see water in so many places, that is an illusion. But that doesn't mean that the world is an illusion. Or it doesn't also mean that the world is full of illusion, because the world is full of realities. But within those realities, we have some. And that's because our eyes are limited. Our ears are limited. There are a lot of things we cannot see. We call them infrared and ultraviolet. Violet we can see. Beyond the violet, whatever there is, spectrum continues beyond the violet. And we can't see it. That's why we call it ultraviolet. So if we don't see a few things correctly, it's not a fault of Ishvara. It's ours. We don't know how to see things properly. So you go near and say, I think it's... So we make mistakes and so on. So there are a few things here that may seem illusory, but that doesn't dismiss the entire world as an illusion. So Maya, we say, Maya is the Shakti of Ishvara. Maya Shakti. There was a great king in Hampi, and his brother is one of the greatest writers of the Vedanta texts, Vidyaranya Swami from Karnataka. I feel so happy just taking his name. So there's a book he wrote, and he talks about Maya like this. Shakti Dvayam Hi Mayayaha. You can chant Shakti Dvayam.
Shakti Dvayam.
Dvayam is two Shaktis. Mayayaha. Of the Maya. Vikshepavrati. Vikshepavrati Rupakam. So one Shakti is Vikshepa Shakti, the power to create the sun, power to create the moon, power to create the mountain, power to create the river, power to create the fire, water, earth, power to create all these bodies, humans, and all the world that you see, including the dream world, sleeping. That is one, Vikshepa Shakti, creation, meaningful creation, awareful creation. It's not random. The creation around me, Vikshepa, it is Srajanam, it is a manifestation, very conscious. Everything is doing what we're supposed to do. The sun is rising in the morning and won't be found in the west, it will be in the east, and setting in the west, and the earth rotating and maintaining its orbit, and the trees, every birds, everybody is doing. There is an order here, there is a lot of order. So Shakti Dvayam hi Mayayaha Vikshep Avrati Rupakam, and the other power is Avarana Shakti, Avrati, power to cover. So every individual on the earth is as though this Maya Shakti, which has created the world, that is one power she has. Dvayam, no? One power is to create the world and then making me think I am just one of the objects in this world. I am as good as my body. And this world is different from me. So she covers my wholeness. So the wave never comes to know that I am the water that makes the whole of the ocean. She never knows. She lives her whole life like a wave and doesn't understand that I am the water that makes the whole. So I think I'm the consciousness only in this body. Outside there may be consciousness, but that has nothing to do with me. It's like I say only this space in my body, that is space I am. Outside the space is different. There's only one space, yeah. Similarly, the consciousness in me, it cannot be separated from the consciousness in the rest of the world. What will separate it? What will divide the space? What will divide this infinite consciousness? A conscious thing or an inert thing? Nothing. Suppose you put a lot of pots in this space. You think those pots are dividing this space? See, there was this pot, yeah? This is pot space, right? And there is outside space. Suppose this pot goes away. What happens to the pot space? It becomes one with the outside space. When was it separate, sir? You temporarily call it a pot space. So that's the consciousness lives in all the parts, whatever you want to say it. So this is the Maya, okay? Maya is a word we use for this Shakti, the power of Ishvara with which he creates the world and then put blinders on us so that we don't see ourselves. Shakti Dvayam hi Mayayaha Vikshepavrati Rupakam. Then he says, Vikshepa Shakti Lingadi Brahmandantam Jagat Sajet. So from a small little thing to a piece of a blade of grass to all the way to the creator, it's all made by Maya. Actually, it's all Brahma. All the waves are water, so all the things that you see, Maya has no reality except Brahma. And then Vikshepa Avrunotihi Aparashakti, and then because of which we have so many pursuits. So I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a rich man, I'm a poor man, I'm happy, I'm unhappy. These are all expressions of consciousness. These are all waves born out of the same ocean. So we use the word Maya to explain the nature of the world. We are not dismissing the world. We are not trying to say it doesn't exist, it is false, it is an illusion. We are just trying to see how it is. And it is Tribunatmika. Somewhere you have tamas, somewhere you have rajas, somewhere you have sattva. This Maya and Prakriti are the same. So now that I have bored you a lot, let me tell you a small little story, I don't know. See, Maya also means what is not. Maya. Ma means not. Ya, which. Ma, what is not is Maya. Ya, ma, sa, Maya. What is not is Maya. Why? Because all that is here is Brahma. All that is here is clay. Where is the pot? So you have to say Maya, and then they say it is an illusion, but because this is what the mistake is. When I say Maya doesn't exist, what I'm saying, everything is Brahman. The consciousness, the water exists. But, so, this temporary thing, and it is true that, see, the touch of the pot is the touch of the clay. The weight of the pot is the weight of the clay. It has no independent existence. That's why Maya is a dependent reality. Understand? It depends on Brahma for its existence, like this pot depends on clay. So what is this world? This world, the existence of this world is derived from consciousness, the awareness, which will continue to exist even if the world disappears. Like the water will continue to exist when the wave disappears. Understand? So therefore, we have to use this word Maya to communicate this vision. Okay? Now what happened? There was a very rich man and he had 3 sons. After this story you go, okay? This is that. Way past yogi bedtime. Then this man had 3 children, 3 sons. One was, let us say, 25. The other was 18. And third guy was, one was 25, other was 20. And the youngest son was 9 years old. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is just something I don't know why I added this. This is just to confuse you, okay? Because Maya is so confusing. You are already very, I hope there was some clarity after all this, or is it still confusion? Or have I confounded your confusion? So, this man died, this rich man died, and he left a will. And according to the will, the house went to somebody, car went to another, so all that was okay. But what happened? He had 17 elephants. Incidentally, elephants are one of the things used in our temples to depict the Maya sometimes. But anyway, he had 17 elephants. And so he wrote in his will that these elephants are to be divided like this. The eldest son, the eldest, gets half of these elephants. How many elephants are there? 17. So what is the half of 17? Mathematics is okay, and Singaporeans are good at mathematics. Huh? 8.5? That means 8 is no problem because 8 can go to the oldest son, but then they have to take a big and divide the 9th elephant into 2 halves, no? And he said the second son should get, I better not forget this because the story is highly confusing. So, okay. 1/3. 1/3. Second one gets 1/3. What is the 1/3 of 17? 17 divided by 3 to make it easy for you. 17 by 3. 5 and 2/3, yeah, something like that. Yeah, correct. Okay. Germans are very precise and they should know, they will go like, how many digits will you have in this? Like you would say 17 divided by 3, because 1/3 means 17 divided by 3, and 3 times 5 is 15, then 2 is left, and then you put a 0, and then 3, so 6, and then again 2, then 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So, what is it? 5.66666. How far are we going to go? So imagine you are having problems. So just imagine those sons, they were having a real problem. They didn't know what to do. And the third one was said it was 1/9. 1/9 means you divide 17 by 9. And they had divided all this property because, you know, he was a rich man, and they were in the front yard. And, you know, front yard means on the street. India, and then they were struggling. What do we do now? How do we divide these 17? Dad said 1/2 goes to him, 1/3 goes to him, and 1/9 goes to this 9-year-old, the youngest. 1/2, 1/3, 1/9, 17. We have to find a big sword or something to cut the elephants and they were struggling. You can imagine, right? You know, it can be very difficult. How are you going to? And they had to, you know, I don't know, don't think too much. It's not modern times, because in old times, your dad says something, you have to follow that. You know, you cannot go against the word of your ancestors. Rama went to forest for that. You remember that? Just because his mom had said something to his mother that I will give you 2 moons, and she said Rama should go to the forest for 14 years, and he went. Why? Because Dad's word he has. So Dad has given a word here. So there was a man, you know, he was a minister in the country, and ministers generally are on the elephant. So he was coming there on his elephant. And he said, what's wrong with you guys? You look very upset, very disturbed. What happened? What's your problem? And he said, this is our problem, sir. Dad said 17 elephants and give half to the eldest brother and 1/3 to the middle one. And the youngest brother gets 1/9, and we don't know what to do. And we have no idea how to solve this problem. Do you have any idea how to solve this problem? Don't look at me, because I generally don't have any idea. I just told you 1 hour, I told you something. I had no idea in the beginning what I will say. So he said, okay, maybe I can help you. Do one thing, please take my elephant, okay? So he gave his elephant to them, just because he could not see them struggling. He was really struggling. So now how many elephants they have now? 18. So how much does the eldest brother gets? 1/2, right? What is the half of 18? See, it's so good you are at mathematics. Earlier you were a little bit slow, but now it's easy, right? So how many did the eldest brother will get? So you might be thinking, oh, this is not a great thing. You are cheating. You are. Of course, it's easy after getting 1, and then you are just making up a story. But what is so 18, right? 18 divided by 2. The biggest brother, the eldest brother, gets how many? 9. So he got 9. And the second brother was supposed to get 1/3 of 18, which is 6. So 9 and 6, 15. How many elephants left? 3. And what is the youngest brother was supposed to get 1/9, which is 2. So 15 and 2? 17. And then the minister sat on his elephant and laughed. That is Maya. The 18th elephant is the Maya, okay? It didn't do anything except Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.